What's up guys, TC here and welcome back to Starbound Nightly. In today's episode we have a lot of great stuff, so let's jump right in. First things first, you can obviously see we have a brand new mob over here, and this is called a Mushi, and it's a new farmable mob to go along with our Fluffalo, and we also have chickens and hens we can now farm. So back to these little Mushis over here. As you can see, they have these big adorable ears, and essentially whenever you, these guys, the way it works is you lay an egg right here. They don't have a description on them, but pretty much you put the egg down, and after a certain amount of time they hatch into little baby Mushis, and then after I think about a day they grow up into these guys. You don't have to feed them anything in particular, and what you can do is you harvest them. All you do is you interact with them, and you'll see you actually get milk right out of them. It doesn't come in a bucket or anything, it just comes right out of the can, and you can just, yeah. So one thing that is a little bit annoying is that you know, food doesn't stack anymore, so you do have to, like, you'll quickly fill your inventory up with a lot of these guys. But yeah, they're really, really great. I love the way they look. It's a really, really creative design for a space cow, pretty much. Moving over here, you'll see we actually have chickens and hens. Now, these guys have been in the game for a while, and earlier I put a thing on Reddit on how to actually farm chicken eggs using basically critter capture pods and those little pet tethers. But that was really hard because you had to find a glitch village and capture the chickens, and it was hard. Now you can actually farm them properly. So we actually have hen eggs here, and we have robot hen eggs. And the great part is that hens actually give you eggs, so whenever you harvest them, they turn brown. So you'll know they're ready to be harvested whenever they turn white. And the little robot chickens actually give you AA batteries, which I think is hilarious. And it's actually a really good way to get these resources. We're actually approaching a point now where I think farming might be going in a direction that we might can actually complete the game entirely by farming, almost, as far as like getting resources. Another thing that's kind of changed, that's a small change, but I want to point out, is that the Fluffalo now seem to be going a different direction than they were. The way it was is you'd place a generic Fluffalo egg, and what you fed it would turn it into its corresponding Fluffalo. Now it seems to be that each Fluffalo is its own species and has its own egg. So like this is a generic Fluffalo right here, and what you're gonna see, you have to excuse me, the text in the Nightly are kind of broken, so I'm having to use these dang things here to jump around because I can't use my boost or jump. So you'll see up here we actually have fire Fluffalo egg, ice Fluffalo egg, electric. There's no toxic one for now. I think it's not quite in yet, but yeah, so they seem to be moving away from that idea that you feed them certain things and that makes them grow into certain types of Fluffalo. Now you've just got generic Fluffalo that turns into these, and you've got the other ones that turn into those other types. So it's not bad. I kind of like it because for me it seemed kind of buggy to feed these guys the right food to make them grow into the right Fluffalo. They sometimes wouldn't work. So I actually like that. And the last thing on this episode here I want to clear up is I made a pretty big mistake last week, and you guys pointed it out, and I feel like a doofus. I'm going to have to take back my statement on the hotbar. That's because this is something what happened. I just simply did not research it. I didn't look into it and experiment with what it was. So I had this hotbar, or action bar as it's called, entirely wrong last week. So I was telling you guys we got limited spaces and we have less than we used to, and it's harder to use dual wield weapons. I was completely wrong on that. So what it is we actually have, I think, more spaces than we used to. And it's because you actually have this little button up here which I never clicked, and you click it and you actually have access to a second set of inventory here. And the cool thing is that you actually can do what I was talking about with the shield. You can pretty much put items in multiple slots for the most part. So like you could, it's like if I wouldn't have to have multiple shields to have that dual wield setup I wanted, where I'd have like a shield and a pistol, a shield and a sword, a shield and a whip. You can actually, because it's just an action slot, you can have items in the same slot. So I could have, like, for instance, say I wanted this with like a grappling hook. So now I could actually do this. If I wanted to have for some reason have a cave detector and a grappling hook, I could do that, or I could have a cave detector and some other thing here. But this is still just my one cave detector. See, so you can actually put one item in multiple slots. So you can still do everything you used to be able to do, and just like the old way. The only difference is now you just switch between these here to access the rest of it. So I'm not quite sure if I like it as much as the old one or not. It just takes a little bit of warming up too. But I don't know, maybe they'll give us an option. We'll see. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please rate, like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later.